Asmongold is one interesting caricature. He recently defended not needing deodorant. Asmongold, the popular Twitch streamer known for his candid takes and unabashed personality, has often straddled the line between internet clown and philosopher king. In a recent stream, his decision to defend not needing deodorant sparked an avalanche of commentary. Some amused, others repulsed, and many more intrigued. On the surface, it's easy to dismiss this as another quirk in the long list of Asmongoldisms. But if you dig deeper, this moment reflects something more profound: the performative rejection of societal norms by someone who has built a following by being defiantly authentic. To understand the spectacle of Asmongold's statement, one has to understand the persona he cultivates. He is not merely a gamer or a YouTuber, he is a walking social experiment. His streams are littered with commentary that ranges from gaming critiques to life advice to what can only be described as digital grunge ideology. Defending not wearing deodorant then becomes less about hygiene and more about symbolic rebellion, against forced grooming, against fake appearances, against performative cleanliness. In this sense, Asmongold becomes less a streamer and more a caricature of radical transparency, amplifying human flaws to almost grotesque proportions in order to highlight how ridiculous social expectations have become. But even caricatures, when observed closely, speak volumes about the culture that spawned them. Asmongold's refusal to adhere to conventional hygiene practices is not just a take, but a mirror held up to a society obsessed with masking itself, physically, emotionally, and digitally. When he says he doesn't need deodorant, he's really pointing out how we've all become dependent on covering our natural states to feel socially acceptable. Whether or not that's a wise hill to die on is another matter, but the logic has a kind of rugged consistency, at least within the world Asmongold inhabits and projects. There's also an unmistakable class undercurrent to his argument. The idea that one must buy specific products to be socially tolerable ties directly into consumerism and the unrelenting pressure to constantly self-optimize. Asmongold, a millionaire by most estimates, sits in a room that looks like a digital landfill and proudly declares that he is fine as he is. There's a bizarre power in that he does not need to project affluence, cleanliness, or polish to be relevant or successful. He turns the influencer paradigm upside down by selling nothing but himself, unfiltered, uncleaned, unvarnished. That's not to say there isn't valid criticism. Hygiene, unlike fashion or style, has public health implications. Many were quick to point out the irresponsibility of normalizing poor hygiene, especially when broadcast to millions. However, to treat Asmongold's comments as prescriptive rather than performative is to miss the larger point. He is not necessarily advocating for a communal odor apocalypse. He's illustrating that, in his view, cleanliness is not a moral value, and choosing not to use deodorant doesn't equate to personal failure. It's not a doctrine, it's a declaration of independence from unnecessary rituals. What's fascinating is how this moment, silly on the surface, is entirely consistent with the Asmongold mythos. This is the same man who streams from an aging bedroom with loose wires and soda cans forming a kind of trash topography. His content is a long-form exploration of inertia, apathy, and yet also startling insight. He thrives in the contradiction between knowing better and not doing better, making him deeply relatable to many who feel similarly trapped between self-awareness and self-improvement. The deodorant debate, then, is another notch in his ongoing narrative of anti-optimization. Interestingly, Asmongold's stance indirectly challenges influencer culture. Most online personalities go to absurd lengths to appear polished. Perfect lighting, curated outfits, sponsored skincare routines. Asmongold's refusal to engage in even the most basic level of self-polishing is a protest. In a world where online image is currency, he thrives on looking broke, tired, and occasionally smelly. That's the performance. He becomes a walking glitch in the influencer matrix, and his fans love him for it. There is also a certain gendered undertone to this discourse. The ability to casually reject hygiene norms is often more acceptable for men, especially within gaming communities, where the archetype of the smelly gamer has long been both a stereotype and a badge of honor. Asmongold leans into this trope but also elevates it into a brand. His masculinity is defined not by strength or wealth or style, but by the refusal to care. It's a paradoxical sort of dominance, commanding attention precisely by ignoring the expectations that come with being watched. Still, one cannot ignore the parasocial dynamics at play. Many viewers project themselves onto streamers like Asmongold, finding solace in their flaws and vices. If he can be successful while being so unapologetically himself, maybe they can too. It's both empowering and dangerous. The deodorant debate thus becomes a symbol of freedom, of rebellion, of lowered standards. Whether that's liberation or laziness depends largely on the viewer's own existential orientation. Asmongold's rhetoric also taps into a deeper cultural fatigue. People are tired of being told how to look, what to buy, how to live. In that exhaustion, figures like him emerge as anti-heroes. He offers a kind of degenerate clarity: you don't have to play the game to win. This fantasy is especially appealing in an age of burnout and algorithmic perfection. Asmongold's deodorant stance isn't just about sweat, it's about not sweating the small stuff in a world already boiling over with expectations. At the same time, the irony is undeniable. By rejecting the expectations of cleanliness, he paradoxically reaffirms his place within the spectacle. The more extreme his takes, the more content he produces, and the more relevant he becomes. It's performative non-performance, a kind of method acting for the chronically online. So when he says he doesn't need deodorant, it's both a personal truth and a viral strategy. One wonders if Asmongold even knows where the character ends and the person begins. In conclusion, Asmongold's defense of not needing deodorant is more than just a gross-out moment. It's a lens into the ethos of a man who has made himself a symbol of post-digital authenticity. In a world obsessed with curated perfection, he remains defiantly imperfect. Part entertainer, part philosopher, part meme. Whether you agree with his take or not, the fact that it sparked so much discourse proves one thing. Asmongold, for all his trash-filled surroundings and contentious opinions, understands better than most how to tap into the cultural bloodstream. And that makes him, without question, one interesting caricature.